Hey, welcome to the Packer Franchise Podcast. I'm your host, Packer Franchise, and I'm here today bringing you guys a divisional round recap of the NFL playoffs. I know this is a Packer page channel, but I kind of want to make some NFL in because I'm also a huge NFL guy, and I love discussing NFL and all that stuff. So, if you guys want more NFL stuff, please leave in the comments below or DM me at Packer.franchise, and let's get right into this commentary. Or not commentary, but podcast. So there are two sides of the NFL playoffs this past weekend. There was a good side and a bad side. And the good side was the NFC playoffs, and the bad side was the AFC playoffs. The AFC playoffs, every year it gets hyped as this could be the year where there's actually good playoff games. Every year there's usually one or maybe two good AFC playoff games. Last year we had Jacksonville and Pittsburgh. This year we had Chargers-Ravens, if you want to guess that. Sorry it took me a while. I think who the Chargers played. But the AFC division round was honestly an embarrassment for hyping up the AFC conference. Before the wild card even started, I thought this would be one of the most competitive playoffs we have seen in years. Because it was that year that this year, my bad. It looked like this year any team could win the Super Bowl. And I mean anyone. Anyone, and not just the NFC, but the AFC, anyone could have won that Super Bowl. Or could win a Super Bowl. Chargers beat the Ravens. Colts stomped the Texans. We're going to divisional weekend saying, okay, Colts could upset the Chiefs. Pat Mahomes on a bye week hasn't played a playoff game. Don't know if he's ready. And the Chargers going to Patriots. Chargers are the best team in football, or one of the best teams in the AFC. New England struggling. We could see an upset. As for the Kansas City Chiefs, they handle business. Pat Mahomes played, excellent football like he always been throughout the entire year. And I'll tell you one thing, this kid's pretty darn good. I mean, Patrick Mahomes, let's face it, he's a new face of the franchise. Him, and if you want to include Jared Goff in there, and maybe even Dak Prescott as the new young face of the franchise. But that Chiefs offense, even without Kareem Hunt, they dominated that entire game. And I understand it might be the Colts, but the Colts were the hottest team in football at that time. Winning 10 in their last 11, and even people were saying, this could be an upset alert. Even I picked the Colts, because I thought Pat Mahomes was not ready. I know he's a flashy player, but Pat Mahomes was 0-4, or some stat like that, in his biggest games. And those stats I heard from the herd was Colin Cowherd, shout out to him. But Pat Mahomes in his biggest games, 0-4. The Patriots game, the Seahawks game, the Chargers game, and there was another, and the Rams game. And not saying all those games were his fault, which his defense averaged or gave up 54, 43, 37, I believe, with the Seahawks game, and 29 points. So I'm not saying it was all Patrick Mahomes' fault. I will say the Rams game was probably his fault because he did throw two crucial interceptions at the end. But anyway, this is about divisional playoffs, not about the past. Or not about Week 11. So Pat Mahomes and his Chief offense dropped 31 points. Pat Mahomes played great football like he does always. Let me pull up his stats real quick. Patrick Mahomes, 278 yards, 0 touchdowns, 0 picks. I know he didn't throw any touchdowns or interceptions, but, he just keeps plays alive, and, thanks to, Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, he manages to make plays. But pretty much that's the Chiefs game, and I gotta give one huge shout out to the Chiefs defense. I thought they were gonna. I thought it was gonna be like a 40-40 game, and they contained Andrew Luck. Andrew Luck was honestly, he was really bad that game. I think he had like 12 passing yards in the first half. That's how bad he was. Like Andrew Luck, I've never seen him play in a bad game like that before. He's had bad games, but a game like that, and I don't know if it was the snow or just the Chiefs defense finally stepped up for once. But that was bad. And a specific player I wanted to recognize on the Chiefs defense is Chris Jones. He was just going after the quarterback. He was up, I want to say it was up against Nelson, the rookie offensive guard for the Colts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but he just went all after him. He played incredible, and I think, Chris Jones and Justin Houston and that Chiefs defense is incredible. But let's talk about the other AFC playoff game, Chargers Patriots. I mean, what can you expect? People thought it was going to be a Chargers upset, and I've been hearing Chargers upset all week long. Chargers upset, Chargers, all that. And I keep telling people, I'm like, you really think Tom Brady is going to lose at Foxborough against the Chargers? I mean, I know people hate Tom Brady. Me personally, I don't care. I mean, I don't mind Tom Brady. I like Tom Brady. He's one of the best to ever do it, and you got to put. I mean, I think you got to put respect on his name. But there's no way you should doubt the Patriots at home, as long as Tom Brady and Bill Belichick are there. Excuse me. But Tom Brady had an incredible game, completing 33 of his passes for 348 yards and a touchdown, I believe. 348, I think it was. Sonny Michel was one of the key players in the first half for New England, scoring 3 touchdowns. Phillip Rivers just, besides that blown coverage by Stephon Gilmore that allowed Keenan Allen to score a touchdown, the Chargers just went downhill. Tom Brady, and the Patriots offense scored touchdowns while the Patriots defense held the Chargers to punts. And just like that, it's another AFC divisional win for the New England Patriots and Tom Brady's 28th playoff win, which is honestly incredible. But so that's the AFC playoff round. Typical Tom Brady and the Patriots going to their 8th consecutive AFC championship game to take on a team that some people in the beginning of the year weren't expecting them to make it that far, kind of like Jacksonville last year. But onto the NFC divisional playoffs, which were way more competitive than the AFC divisional. And I'll start by with the Cowboys Rams. To me, the Rams was honestly the lock of the week. I'm not going to say the Eagles Saints, and I know people are going to be like, I don't know, people are probably going to make fun of me for saying the Rams are a lock instead of the Saints. But all week long, everyone's talking about the Dallas Cowboys. And I understand they were a great football team. Dallas was a great football team coming off their big playoff win against Seattle. But here's the thing with Dallas. They're good when Zeke gets going. And Zeke wasn't getting going against the Rams, and that's why they lost. Dallas Cowboys are honestly Zeke's team. And we saw that last year when Zeke got suspended. Dak Prescott did not play well when Zeke was suspended. And when Zeke couldn't get going earlier in the season, Dak Prescott played awful. And I know with the addition of Mark Cooper to help a little bit, but and I know Dak had a decent game, but when Zeke can't get going, the Dallas Cowboys are not that good of a football team. And I've been saying that for the last couple years, even Dak Prescott rookie year. It wasn't that Dak had a phenomenal rookie year. I mean, he did have a great rookie year, but people want to give Dak the praise. But it's mostly Ezekiel Elliott that did the work for Dallas Cowboys. I believe he had 1,600 rushing yards his rookie season, and also he led the league in rushing this year. The Dallas Cowboys are a good football team when Zeke's running the ball really well. They're not a good football team when they're not running the ball really well. Jared Goff and the Rams, played good offense like they've always been doing. But I was very surprised by C.J. Anderson, which, by the way, good for the kid. Had a very kind of rough 2018 season. Cut by the Broncos. Waived by the Panthers. Got released by the Raiders after a day. And, shined for the LA Rams. I believe he had 135 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns, I believe, that game. But who would have thought C.J. Anderson would be the top running back of that night? Besides, Zeke and Gurley. And, Sean McVay, I've been saying it since he got hired last year. He's now one of the smartest coaches in the league, behind Bill Belichick. Sean McVay, he's just an offensive mastermind, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I liked Matt LaFleur hiring, because he was the offensive coordinator of the Rams, but I do think the Rams' offense was better that year than this year. But, with a great coach like McVay, you can make any offense. And this was the same Rams team that had Todd Gurley and Jared Goff. And I understand Goff was a rookie that went 4-12. And now they went 24-8 in 2 regular season games and they're 1-1 in the playoffs. But other than, C.J. Anderson going off and containing Zeke, there wasn't really anything other, big about the Rams game. So I think that's a wrap of the Cowboys-Rams. And last but not least, the last game of the weekend, Eagles and the Saints, which I said earlier. I didn't say it on my podcast. I think I did. I don't know. But I said earlier, in the group chat, I said I will not be surprised if this game is close, because when you blow out an opponent the first time, it's usually never the same. You look at the 2010 Jets, got blown out by New England. I forget what week it was. Week 17, I think it was, something like that. 35-3. And then 2 weeks later, went to the playoffs and beat the Patriots in the playoffs in Foxborough. Yeah, you can't. It's hard to blow out your opponent twice. Because once that team gets blown out, they know what they had to do. They know how to fix their mistakes. And even though the Eagles lost, they kept it close. Heck, at first I thought it was going to be a repeat of Week 11, but except it's the opposite. The Eagles blowing out the Saints, but I knew you could never count Drew Brees at home. But if I'm a Saints fan, I would honestly worry about the Rams, because if you let Nick Foles, which he had a great first quarter, by the way. Nick Foles had an unbelievable first quarter, but after that, he just went downhill. But if you let Nick Foles do that to your offense with, no running game and everyone getting hurt, could you imagine a healthy Rams offense? That's just a reminder. But, back to the Eagles Saints. Drew Brees played awful, and I was questioning the play calling at first. I'm like, why go deep? I understand you want to be explosive with that explosive offense, but there's no reason to go deep on the first play of the game. I thought that was a dumb call. I think they should have went a little more like quick slants or all that. They should not went deep on the first play. But it was a real good game. It's the best game of the weekend. Nothing really besides things kind of struggling at first. Michael Thomas had a real good game. Michael Thomas was a very reliable receiver for the Saints. 172 yards and a touchdown for Michael Thomas. And I know what people are going to be saying, the Rams, Super Bowl, all that. I'm not going to get into my picks yet. I'm just doing a divisional recap, but I think later on this week I'll do my picks for the AFC and NFC Championship game, which, in my opinion, should be probably one of the greatest conference championship Sundays we'll have in a long time. Last couple years have been either a blowout or just whether it's the Vikings Eagles game, Packers Falcons, all that. It's just been blowouts for the past couple years. But nothing really else to say. Overall, the Chiefs, Chiefs playing good. Patriots, dominating the AFC like always. Rams offense looking good. Worried about their defense heading to New Orleans. New Orleans worried about their offense heading to the NFC title game. But that's it for the NFC divisional and AFC divisional recap. I forgot to put the AFC in. Let me know what you guys think. I will continue with free agent picks tomorrow. I think for Green Bay should pick up. I think we're going to do linebackers next. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I'll get that video out as soon as I can. So, alright guys, thank you for tuning in to my divisional round recap. And, be sure to subscribe and comment what you guys like to see for the channel. See you guys, and have a good week.